when no one warned you. I'm kidding.
I was gonna say same for, and James, I have theirs on, I will still talk. That's on for sure.
Okay. I see that. You're grabbing nonsense. We'll try it. Yeah, it's fish right out.
Sorry, please. Are you feeling better now?
I at least have some sugar in my blood. Yeah.
Even if it was just a small amount that you eat, I think you threw it out.
7 minutes, right? It was a 7-minute turnaround, but yeah, we got it done. And these volumes down before get into the meeting. Hey, Chief.
Dan, Steve, everybody seems to have weed. You did, yeah. So you're gonna hammer it in. Oh, nice to meet you. Oh, so. Yes, I was, you're right. No, I'm the other contractor. Thanks for, we had a team problem. The team's getting ready to go out. Conversation. I have to go. Appreciate you. And you're sitting next to the brain. That's what you saw. Yeah, I'm sorry it is. He's like, you're deep in a national forest. Oh, but for close to cities, populations, evacuations, payers, so good. It really depends on what you say. Oh, no, yeah.
Hello. How's it going?
How about you?
Good. Good. Thank you.
Doing well?
Hanging in there. Hanging in there. Good. How was your trip?
My trip was awesome. It was awesome. Yeah, we had a great time. It was 100 degrees or more every day, so that was a little bit uncomfortable
Yeah.
because Europe doesn't air conditioning. But we found the air conditioning when we got to Rome. Still there. Yeah, it was just. I think it was sharing Carrie earlier that one of my big takeaways from this whole trip was that American architecture sucks.
Yes. Oh gosh,
You
it's
go to a place like Rome, you're like, oh my gosh.
it's like our stuff was built by a bunch of people that were trying to throw up log cabins
Yeah,
real
yeah.
quick.
Right.
And then we just never really advanced that a whole lot. We just like changed the size of the wood.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, no, it was great. It was a good trip. Good trip, but for the most part, everything fell in place. Yeah. Thank you for asking. Blue.
It's one of my aunt's like favorite places.
Huh?
My aunt goes there periodically.
Oh, really?
Not regularly, but frequently enough.
Well, I am glad we saw it all. There are parts that we went, have to do that again. Been there, done that. Rome was Naples. I don't know if you've ever been to Naples.
Nope. The most exotic place I've been to is Calgary.
Okay.
So,
Well, the name just reaches the streets.
really?
Like you're actually, you know what it's like when you leaves all.
Yeah.
You're walking on the sidewalk and you're looking at art, just.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
And it was like. I mean, everywhere, people were nice. Like, you see stuff. Not all of it, just like Naples was the worst. Wrong.
Yeah.
The other ones.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes,
One night we came back from the hotel.
yes. Yeah, sounds good. Actually, I'll just email it right now
Yeah.
on, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah.
Your name really was hard.
I mean-
Whereas in Naples.
It's the proximity to the Vatican. Cleanliness is close to godliness. So
Yeah.
it's that proximity to the Vatican. That's why.
Think about that.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm trying to like, there's gotta be a reason why. It's super clean there.
Liaison officer, you just needed to. I'm like, I'll do that. Oh, shit.
It is 6 o'clock, right?
I think so.
I'm just making sure that we're all here on the right.
I was gonna say, I think finance committee must be riveting today. I was gonna say, yeah, it must be really exciting. Can't wait. Yay. Oh, good.
Oh,
Wait, how many people are online? I know
we
Rebecca.
got folks online.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Oh, I didn't realize that. I'm like. Okay. Oh, and we still have finance committee, right? So I'm sure we have. That's where James and.
Hey.
How you doing?
She'll be online. Just so she's in Seattle.
Mark's in Seattle.
Oh, interesting.
Or not
I'll-
Seattle, just kidding. Isn't he out? Like, for a month?
Oh, I don't know. I know he's out, but.
Rich.
Like, I'll be like, okay, you got 20 minutes and then it'd be.
Bunch of yappers. Well, like two, but
I was gonna say, I was like, didn't you guys all just come from the same place?
trust me.
You guys went through a portal. Back here a little faster. You knew it, took a shortcut.
Yeah, he's saying, it's going, sir. Met Dan.
The little, the thing you were talking about where you stuff the frozen fruit into it.
Yeah.
The little chewy thing. Wow, she loves that.
He confused me for you.
They're
Game
really
changer.
got on him messy, but they're great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like he like murdered someone.
Yeah, that's, I think
But
the
don't
first one we
care.
did was a raspberry.
Yeah, it was like blueberry. I put blueberries and blackberries in there and he just See, covered in red. Whenever he's happy. Yeah, those are genius. I was like, how am I like 5 kids in and I'm just now discovering this?
Yeah, I got one for my oldest.
My littlest, I just kind of was like.
It's kind of like with Dimitri, I'm just like, whatever.
You'll
Like,
see
you don't
what I mean.
actually need this. Trust me, I've gone through a bunch of things. Trust me, kid, you don't actually need this.
Yeah.
This was the first thing I was like, it's kind of
But it is so cool though, because you're like, well, I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to worry about.
I was sitting there like gobbling down popsicles in the heat, and I'm like, what can I get him? I was like, oh, well, here you go. Here's frozen blackberries shoved into a little like teething toy. So yeah, worked out really well. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, read that. 6:01. Okay. Is it 6:01, Shelley? Okay. Hello, we are going to call our regular city council meeting of July 28th to order at 6:01 PM. Will you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
United States of America. To the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Honorable Member Martin.
Here.
Councilmember Vaughn.
Present.
Councilmember Barfield.
Present.
Councilmember Fuller.
Here.
Councilmember Vaughn.
She online?
She's on there.
Okay.
Oh, unmute yourself.
Having technical difficulties, but appears to be here. Okay, we'll go to the next person.
Here. Here.
Here. Great. Do we have the sign up sheet for public comment? Thank you. One online. Okay, great. Okay, before we do our in-person and online public comments, I will read the into the record the comments received and forwarded via email. On July 15th from Citizen DeLucci, an email received about grant opportunities from Citizen McGaffin regarding fluoridation and in favor of fluoride. And another one from Citizen DeLucci regarding kratom. From Citizens Miller opposing fluoride, and from Citizen Donnerberg in favor of fluoride on July 16th. On July 17th from Citizen Yates opposing fluoride. On the 20th from Citizen DeLucci grant opportunities. On the 21st from Citizen DeLucci regarding an RFP. On the 23rd from Citizen DeLucci, an email regarding noise ordinance. On the 27th from Citizen Rivers in favor of fluoride, and also on the 27th from Citizen Wallace in favor of fluoride. And so now we will do our in-person comments. We have Citizen Coons. Online, I'm sorry. Online from, it says from Arcora Foundation. And just a reminder that we have a 2-minute time limit. And when your time is up, you will be muted. We can unmute. And then if you'll state your name and address for the record, that would be great.
Yes, hello. Hi, everyone. My name is Mariah Kunz. I live in Seattle, actually, at 400 Fairview. And I am here speaking to you today as the policy analyst at Arcora Foundation. Arcora is a statewide nonprofit dedicated to improving oral health for everyone in Washington. At the foundation, I lead our community water fluoridation work. And I wanted to speak to you today about the concerns around maintaining operational level as one of the reasons the city is looking at potentially ending the fluoridation program that has been in place for over 50 years. This is a situation that a lot of other cities have found themselves in as well. And I wanted to offer to meet with members of the council or public works to help troubleshoot and find solutions. For example, fluoride analyzers maintain consistent levels of fluoride in water by providing real-time water testing. They do chemical adjustments, and they offer continuous system feedback that help to track the concentration and prevent unsafe high or low amounts. This would be a cost investment for the city, but we have supported other cities and would happy to support Cheney as well, finding funding solutions like navigating the Drinking Water Revolving Fund application or submitting legislative requests. Investing in water fluoridation provides about $20 in savings to families for every $1 invested. Short-term cost savings would probably not be worth the long-term cost of families who experience higher dental care costs, miss time off work or school, and other potentially costly medical issues, as poor oral health is associated with heart disease and stroke and pregnancy complications. Fluoridation was named one of the best public health achievements of the 20th century for its role in reducing tooth decay. It's been such a great community health program because it benefits everyone, regardless of income or insurance status. I will submit this as written comment as well with some ideas of how to help manage some of the more technical aspects and would love to work together to find a solution. And I wanted to thank the council for your time and consideration of this important issue.
Thank you. Is there anyone in person? All right, and there's no one else online, is that correct? Okay, so we will move on and close our comment period. Thank you very much. To our minutes from our July 14th regular city council meeting. Have you had a chance to review those?
If there are no comments or modifications, I'd make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for July 14th as presented.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the minutes. Those in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, those minutes are approved. And our vouchers and payroll, Mr. Ross.
Yes, okay, we have vouchers of $1,276,106.22. And our payroll is $745,381.28.
Your Honor, the Finance Committee has reviewed these vouchers and payroll expenditures as presented, and I make a motion for approval.
Second.
There's a motion, second to approve vouchers and payroll. Those in favor?
Aye.
And none opposed. Those vouchers and payroll are approved. You can see 3 small contracts that I approved these past couple weeks for Morton's Fizz and Brew, our summer concert series. Excuse me. Pappy's Catering and Concessions, also for our summer concert series, and then our Veritone license agreement for $9,500. We do not have any information items, so we'll move to our action items. The first is our last change order for our purple pipe project. Again, another last one. Director Ferguson.
Good evening. Yeah, I should learn not to say things as this be last one. So I'm not saying that. This change order number 15, it changes the asphalt paving project. During the paving project, we realized that we left one of the driveway cuts out that goes to the yard waste composting site in the design. So it was an oversight kind of on our end of it. So we asked for that to be added into the project. That change order came to $10,266.37. It'll be covered if approved tonight under the loan agreement with Department of Ecology for the Purple Pipe project. So if you have any questions, I can answer.
Your Honor, we discussed this at Public Works. We understand that this patch of asphalt is required or necessary. And unless there's any further questions, I would make a motion for approval of F506.
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Were there any council members online who would like to ask any questions? No? Okay. All right. Those in favor of approving resolution F506?
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. All right, which brings us to ordinance Z06, which is the creation of Arts Commission. This is also updating the code for Parks Board, the Board of Park Commission. Mr. Meese.
Yeah. Thank you, Mayor, City Council. So what you have before you, ordinance number Z06, as the mayor said, this is an ordinance that creates a city arts commission and stipulates their duties, powers, and responsibilities. Also describes their relationship to the Parks Board as well as the city council. It's key here that they are primarily a advisory board. So they are to provide advice to the city council, the Parks Board, city staff with regard to public arts projects, placement of public art works, and other types of duties that I'm sure Mr. Curley can explain in greater detail. If desired, you'll see all of that as new language to be added to the city code. You'll also see some strike through language starting specifically on in section 2.08.30. It talks about quorums and meetings, and this has to do with how we're going to alternate the Arts Commission meetings and the Parks Board Commission meetings and that scheduling. And then in section 2.08.050 under powers and duties, there are some general responsibilities with regard to the Parks Director, the issuance as it affects some of the alcoholic beverage permits and some general housekeeping there, as well as, again, how the Arts Commission will relate to the Parks Board. So I think that's a pretty good overview of what you've got in front of you. But if there are any specific questions, I'll try and answer them. And if not, I will ask Mr. Curley to join me at the front of the room because I'm sure he has the answer. So thank you, Mayor.
And I just want to say logistically, because we have people online and in person, that we'll just try to manage all the talking at once. So any questions or comments?
I guess, Mayor, before I'd left something out. So before we start that, and I apologize, the city council is being requested tonight to do this in all three as one action this evening. There's a reason for that. The Arts Commission, the City of Cheney, has the possibility of exploring a grant with the Spokane Teachers Credit Union, directly aimed at public arts projects. In order for us to do that, there has to be an established Arts Commission. So we need to get this in place in order to be able to apply and meet their deadlines, which I believe occur before the 1st of September.
End of September.
End of September. So that's why you're being asked to take all three votes at once. I think I'm finished.
Okay. Any questions or comments?
Sure. I guess I have some comments. I know we discussed this briefly at Finance Committee just prior to this. This is the first time, I guess, I've seen this. Generally speaking, I guess Parks is also part of the Public Works Subcommittee. I understand, we're hastily kind of doing this again for a grant. Do we have anything on the grant? It feels like we're doing this ordinance tonight for a grant.
Yeah. Dan, do you want to speak to the grant itself?
So my understanding of this grant is that it would be for roughly $11,000, and it would be to cover. I'll just go like this. So then basically the goal would be to cover up 3 different electrical boxes in the city, like you probably see in Spokane when you're driving around, how they take kind of mundane electrical boxes and they put like art on them, and that makes them look quite a bit better. So that's kind of a general review of the grant.
So the grant would cover 100% of painting 3 electrical boxes.
I'm sorry, I don't think it's painting. I think it is, it's a wrap system. So it's one of those.
Like a vinyl wrap
Type.
like you'd put on a fancy car.
And all my understanding, what's that?
Like you would put on a vehicle.
Yes. And my understanding is that their involvement is strictly in the funding. They don't get involved in selecting the artwork or anything like that. That would still come through, well, the Arts Commission and the Parks Board and the City Council.
Okay.
So towards your question, Councilman Bartels, I do think this has moved pretty quickly. We have had an opportunity to discuss it with some of the proposed, I think, Arts Commission members and some of that, but we have not, that I know of, we haven't had final review of the grant document itself, right? Towards your point, I think that would obviously be something, if the commission were to make this approval tonight, and you might even want to include this in the language, make it, add the requirement that it be reviewed by city legal staff, according to the city's policies with regard to final conditions before the mayor would be execute any documents on behalf of the grant. So I understand what you're saying. I understand that it is, again, kind of a rush. I think probably this is something that cities will encounter from time to time based on newly discovered grant deadlines. And there's probably not a way to eliminate it 100%, but we'll certainly try and do that as much as we can in the future. With Mr. Capon's absent at the moment, we'll rely on Mr. Gibbons for that review before the mayor would execute the document. If that's something that the city council,
You're talking about the grant.
the grant, right? Yes, the grant.
The ordinances already went through legal review.
Yeah, I'm saying, exactly. And the grant is actually separate. It's not tied to the
Okay,
Arts Commission.
okay. Thank you. Just
Structurally.
clarifying.
But it certainly is the reason that the Arts Commission thing has kind of fast tracked, I would say, in the last 2 to 3 weeks.
Counselor Bulock?
I just, if I could offer some context, we did discuss it in general governance, at least a little bit. And yeah, I think we're kind of conflating. We're talking about the ordinance to establish the Arts Commission versus an example of why we need the Arts Commission. So the grant is just an example of something that is upcoming that if we had this Arts Commission, we would be eligible for these funds. Okay. So that's really what's keeping it separate. A lot of cities have arts commissions. There's a lot of other really good purposes and things that we could tap into by having one of these. So I do think it is a benefit to our city to have one. But I do understand if there's a desire to kind of pump the brakes a little bit and have it be gone through like Public Works or some other committees. But we did review it, I think, over 2 different meetings actually with general governance.
Sorry, just a quick question on the deadline. So you believe it's the end of September. I'm not going to hold you to this, but
Yeah.
the end of September, and the objective is to have the commission established,
Yeah.
meaning all, 7 members, I think?
Well, right. So my understanding is that and again, I think Commissioner Belock's exactly correct. They are two separate issues. But the requirement of one of the requirements of the grant is that the commission itself has to be formally established as part of the grant application process. So taking all 3 actions tonight and then allowing for the ordinance implementation, so the 30 days, gets you to a place where we can make that application in September. What are you shaking your head? Okay, so then but it still gets us into that range where next Thursday plus 30 days gets us there before the end of September. So that's the goal. Did that answer your question,
Yeah.
Councilman?
Were you gonna say something?
I think Danielle, I can go.
Yeah, I kind of have a clarifying question because this came up in finance committee before, but the way and I'm all for an arts commission. I think this is a great thing to have, but the wording in it states that the Arts Commission, basically the park board retains final approval authority over the Arts Commission. So my question looking at this is the Parks Board or the Arts Commission supposed to be kind of like under the Parks Board? Is that why it's structured that way, as opposed to it being final approval would be through city council? Like, I'm confused on the wording.
So yeah, you're exactly right. And it does call out that the Parks Board would have, like, if you will, final authority on that selection process. I don't know if I would say that the Arts Commission is underneath the Parks Board, but I would say they are certainly an advisory to the Parks Board.
Or I
Go
think
ahead.
you're talking about this section. Let me just read it so I can make sure you're talking about the right one. Is it 2.08.050?
Right.
It is in there, yes.
Okay, or is it in 0.055?
Also there,
In
yes.
2.07.055?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. So, the Board of Park Commissioners for placement of public art on park property, they would have review before it goes to city council. Is that section?
I guess that's my question is it review and then it comes to city council, or it says failure to, or sorry, where is it? I lost my spot. But where it says like it will be final approval, which I guess is this other section I was talking about.
Okay.
And that's where my confusion is. So I just wanted to clarify.
Do you want to clarify or make a change to the wording?
I mean, I guess I would like clarification on specifically what that means in there. Like, is it park board retains final approval authority over Arts Commission? And if it does say that, I feel like it should be modified to council should maintain final approval authority.
I think it's what it says, but what you're suggesting is to change it so that it does not give approval authority to the park board.
Yeah, because I think that usually they come to city council with us approving things that the park board does. So that's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in order to discuss that, you would make a motion to amend those sections, and then we can talk about that. Okay.
If we may continue discussion too, I guess, before motions, again, this has come up pretty hastily. I understand we're chasing $11,000 grant. I just think how some of this is framed is probably needs a little bit more cleanup. And what I mean by that is I'm not sure why the Arts Commission would be secondary to parks. My understanding, again, I've been here for 8+ years, most of the subcommittees are advisory to council. The way this is scripted is there are a lot of allowances to the commission and the parks utilizing staff shall going after grants. That's not how we generally conducted business around here. Again, my position is we're rushing again for a grant, happens to be for $11,000. I don't necessarily think the Art Commission's a bad idea, but the way that this is framed before us to go through 3 ratings feels way too hastily for $11,000. I'd rather it be done correct and structure it such that the Art Commission doesn't have to answer to the Parks Board. I mean, the Art Commission should be the Art Commission, if that makes sense.
So I think you're about to make a motion, but before we do that, can we hear from Counselor Postuma?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I'm in favor of an art commission as well, and having read through the document, I have several questions and comments under almost every single heading, multiple questions and comments under every heading, and so I think for me, it would benefit me a lot to be able to push this back, pump the brakes a little bit, as Councilmember Bealock said. I'd love the opportunity to talk about this in the Public Works Subcommittee and ask Dan Curley lots of questions about that and how that would proceed. I think I agree with that. It should be its own commission. And there are lots of budget details in this that will have future financial implications for us as a city council. And if this was a large grant, maybe I'd think differently, but for $11,000, it doesn't make to me a lot of sense to move forward so quickly. When in my opinion, will have some pretty important and serious implications in the long term. So I would advise us to pump the brakes a little bit, talk about this in subcommittees better, and get our language and our understanding and our vision and our values and our purpose of the Art Commission figured out well, and then bring it back to City Council for approval at a later date. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Counselor Hahn or Counselor Long, do either of you have comment? Counselor Long? Okay.
None for me.
Okay. Is there a motion?
Your Honor, I'd make a motion that, I don't know what ordinance number this is, but that, thank you, ordinance C06, that
Z.
excuse me. Let me
Zed.
read ZZ. Can I just
Yeah.
retract everything I said,
yes.
back up and start over? Your Honor, I would make a motion that Z06, ordinance Z06, I'm butchering this today, that we bring this before us at a later date.
Would you like to have this as the first of 3 readings?
I think we just bring, I would
Table it.
table it, just bring it before us at a later date. Because that would give us an opportunity to run this through.
Okay, can I validate with our parliamentarian that table is the correct term? Okay, just defer or table. Okay.
Either way. Is
So,
there a preference to table or defer?
okay. There's a motion to table ordinance Z06, any readings of ordinance Z06 to a future regular city council meeting.
Second.
And a second. So those in favor of tabling ordinance Z06, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so ordinance Z06 will be returned to subcommittees and reviewed at a later date. Which brings us to item K, our staff reports. And Administrator Meese, I think you're the start of that.
I think I will. So, I guess I'll start and say thank you to the city council for your patience the last 2 weeks. I know that I got started in May and then took off for 2 weeks, and appreciate your patience with that. That was something that we had planned before we came to Cheney. Certainly a worthwhile trip. And so I just appreciate that. And I wanted to give you, even though I didn't get a lot on the slide, Mayor Martin did. And so we got some good stuff up there for you. A couple things I wanted to mention, which aren't on the slide this evening. 2 weeks ago, we did a kickoff session for our union negotiations with AFSCME-C. And so that initial meeting went very well. They've given us an initial proposal. The finance department's doing a financial analysis on that. We will be getting back with them in the next week. I think next week we have our first actual negotiating session. We also kicked off our union negotiations with the Teamsters today. That went very well. They also brought in a starting proposal, and we have our second session, or our next session rather, scheduled with them on the last week of August, right? So both of those, as I've heard from the city council, and it's going to be our intentions to make these processes productive. But a lot of good open communication, and they are not going to drag out for 11 months. So we're going to get things done and make sure that process is satisfactory. Next week, and this may be on Carrie's list as well, but next week our new electric utility director will start. Really looking forward to that, and having an opportunity to introduce Steve to all of you all and get you familiar with his background and see his vision for the department going forward. So looking forward to that next week as well. And then, like I said, the mayor put some really good stuff on here. Mayor, do you want to talk about it?
Sure. A couple weeks ago now, the steering committee of elected officials, and then the Spokane County Planning Department. We had a meeting with both of them regarding our UGA their draft EIS proposal and its impacts on the city, and how that coordinates with our comprehensive plan to get some clarity surrounding numbers and analysis, to make sure that we're using the correct numbers in that. And then they're evaluating 2 draft EIS proposals, 2 alternate options for that, and how that affects the city of Cheney. I also attended the West Plains Chamber of Commerce board meeting. This is the last one of their board meetings that was in Cheney, so that was good. Sorry, for this year. And it was good. We have some really great things happening on the West Plains, and the West Plains Chamber of Commerce has kind of for a while been laying low, and they're starting to pick back up. And so coming up in August, they're hosting breakfast on the Roos at Eastern, which is a big event that they do every year. And so we'll have a table at that, and we'll have more to update in August about that. And then the last thing I want to add here is we have some things on the ballot as a city, which is our streets, Prop 1, I believe it's called, our streets levy. So don't forget to vote. If you have questions about that, there's lots of information on our social media. And then we also have information here at City Hall for you about that if you have questions. And I think there's other things you should be voting on. So just make sure you vote. If you're not registered to vote, register to vote. Get your ballot in. I think that's it. Finance, you're up.
Good evening, everyone. Mayor. So I've been going through a bit of a process of understanding how our operations are working. And so this little diagram on the left is really kind of what I've been uncovering, and all the departments are kind of on the outside, and see a bunch of people walking back and forth because there are a lot of manual systems that we're dealing with, and they all have to come to City Hall and drop off those things, and it's waste of a lot of people's time. And so I'm trying to figure out, how do we go about improving those systems? And also in there is, the paper approvals, the disconnected systems, errors, workarounds for those errors, because when you have so many hands on a keyboard keying from one system to another, you're going to have mistakes. And so I want to improve that. And so as I look at the systems, I'm already formulating a lot of ways to improve that. And there are going to be a lot of policies and procedures that I'm going to be looking at to set the guardrails that we will create as we figure out how this all works together. IT infrastructure is all around that too. So our IT systems is a big part of that. Our Microsoft platform, getting all of you emails and SharePoint is all part of this streamlining project. But it will also allow us to communicate better as a city between departments as well. So there's going to be some deployment of systems that we're already paying for that we're just not using. And then our Naviline system, our finance system that we're using, that's where a lot of our issues are in that system. So I'm still evaluating that, but I've already found places and have already started making some changes. And so there'll be less people walking around already on that, and less papers and less keying things. So that's sort of what I've been doing after I came up from air from the financials in the last week and a half. But yeah, it's a pretty big project and a lot of things that are happening there.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Chief Jenkins.
Well, I didn't have anything as quite nice as Mr. Rouse over here, so I'll have to step up my game. But good evening, council. So our fire marshal has been quite busy. We were able to, he was able to get in and phase 2 of the science center, got that all buttoned up, got all the inspections done, did a lot of the testing, held them to compliance for some of the testing where we had to go back not twice, but 3 times to retest, recertify some things. And I'm happy to report that they're actually starting to move some of the faculty and staff into that building. So they've got some punch list items, but this has been several years in the making with Eastern with the science center. And then so pivoting over to the right-hand side of that screen is that this fall, they'll be tearing down, they being Eastern, will be tearing down Dryden Hall. Hopefully one of many of the dormitories that have been up here at campus for quite a few years. They're going to start demoing Dryden Hall and building a new state-of-the-art dormitory. I got another slide there. So I'm like Mr. Meese, I too was on a 2-week hiatus from the fire department, but with my incident management team down in Northeast Oregon for the last 2 weeks on a wildland fire assignment. And then it kind of dawned on me that I'm turned into my father. I'm starting to talk more and more about the weather as I get older, but I get to nerd out a little bit because we always bring in an incident meteorologist and was one of the most amazing incident meteorologists that I've ever met out of Boise, Idaho. Been in the field of meteorology for 34 years. And one day he just had mentioned, hey, you guys tracking this super El Nino, or what NOAA refers to as an extreme El Nino that's on the horizon on the maps. And I had no clue that this was taking place. So a lot of good conversations with the meteorologists out of Boise. But after doing a lot of internet searching there, you know, we hit PL5 for the Northwest about a month prior to historic norm. And that PL5 is our positioning, 1 being the least concerning, 5 being the highest concerning. It's no news to you all that, you know, we've got a lot of fire on the landscape, but I guess what is alarming is that we're about 3 weeks to 4 weeks much earlier this year with wildland fire season than we have ever historically seen. So where does this extreme, or what has been sensationalized as a super El Nino, come into play? Back in May, the meteorologist, 24 of the 27 international spaghetti charts, if you will, had a very low confidence, and that skyrocketed to an 81% confidence as of 2 days ago with NOAA that this event is taking place. El Nino, La Nina happens every few years, right? And I got an opportunity to educate myself a little bit more about it. But what's a little bit more concerning about this one is it's probably on par to beat the historic record of 1877. You can go back and look at, you know, thousands of people that were killed in 1877, and you would think with today's modern technology, that's probably not going to be the case. Not necessarily saying that the planet is warming up, it just means a huge body of water over the Pacific, in the Pacific realm, has now shifted from Indonesia back over to the Americas. And so when that happened, it just simply shifts the weather pattern. So the good news is that we're going to see our folks over on the Atlantic side of the United States are probably not going to get as many hurricanes, which is great news. How that impacts us here locally is that they're predicting that the northwest where we currently live, we're going to see this winter, 2026, 2027 is going to be minimal snowfall, if any at all. Dry, warm climatic temperatures. 2027 may set a record temperature here in the Americas, if you will, that we have never seen before, at least with modern technology. What do we do with that information? Well, it should be no surprise to any of us that water is a finite resource. And you know, if we can start conserving water today, it helps us through these periods of time when we see these shifts climatically across our planet. But yeah, I just wanted to nerd out there for a minute. Thank you for allowing me to do that, and conserve water. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Let's see, HR, I think you're next.
Tonight, I just wanted to talk a little bit about wellness. We have some new faces in the room and probably not a lot of information on how or why the city has a wellness program. So we get our medical insurance through the Association of Washington Cities. AWC is self-insured, and they have done a study that shows that cities or organizations that have a wellness program have a lower claims history. So it's in their best interest and our best interest, for a reason, to be a well city. So they have a program where cities or other entities that are part of their pool can apply to be a well city. And if you are designated as a well city, they will give you a 2% reduction in your medical premiums. Last year, that saved the city about $29,000. So we do that. We have been a well city for 18 years. And one of the requirements is that 50% of your employees have to participate. This year, we're at 46%. So I'm having my intern work on that. She will be gone for August, but we're working to increase our participation to ensure we meet all the requirements. There are 29 different requirements, so it's not an easy thing to do. It's pretty time consuming and there are a lot of things to do, but there is a value to everybody, so.
That's nice. And this wellness program obviously benefits our employees just as much as our partners.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But I should probably stop incentivizing it with donuts. It's all a balance. It's all a balance. We're getting our steps in and having a donut. It's okay. Only yolks. Yes. Oh, thanks for doing the light updates.
Yeah, no problem. Not my hat, not my project, but I'm willing to speak towards it. Light department had a transformer leak. I apologize, I don't know where this was at, but they did have one. You can see that the top left corner up there, the whales that saturated the grass around the transformer, and the before picture and the after picture after they rehabbed it. One of the tools they used was the back trailer that they just purchased this last year. It gives them the opportunity to go up there and remove the soil and contaminants, put it into the trailer, and then from there they put it into, I believe, 55-gallon drums for disposal at a waste disposal site. So they want to share this with you. Travis asked me to send this forward. The transformer's been replaced or repaired and the soil cleaned up, remediated. Additionally, their tree trimming program should be coming to an end this week. They have met their contractual time, and Travis felt that they had accomplished what they're after for the year for trimming down hazard trees. Yeah, so that's what light department has.
Oh, thanks.
Yep.
See, Mr. Curley.
Yeah, so Parks and Rec, we have all kinds of stuff going on right now. Just wanted to highlight one of the fun programs we started this year, July 18th. We had our first kids triathlon. It wasn't super well attended because it was our first year, but it was a really fun new program and really well received. And we think it's something that we'll be able to build on, over the coming years. We had 3 different age groups, 7, 8-year-olds, 9 and 10-year-olds, and 11, 12-year-olds. These are our 3 finalists here for each of the age groups. Also this Friday from 5:30 to 8:30, free swimming event sponsored by Touchstone Real Estate. And then also today we surpassed the 20,000 visitor mark at the pool. And so, and I think that's understated really, but I'm biased too. So anyway, going really well at the pool in Parks and Rec.
Cool. Thank you. Let's see. Police.
Good evening. I just want to thank Chief Jenkins for that outstanding presentation on weather. For us, we have 4 people in training right now, and they're going to be doubled up in cars. So if you see more than one officer on calls for service, not necessarily anything crazy going on, it's just people are getting trained. So yeah, that's where we're at. And we've been busy, so we're staying busy. So any questions I can answer? All right. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you. Public Works, Mr. Ferguson, one more time. Look at your picture.
Yeah, a good one, actually. I took that myself, by the way. Roundabouts progressing well. They're on schedule. They're still scheduled to end up right before school starts, the end of August. They're doing well. We got the center curb and the radiuses poured. Most of the sidewalks are in. I believe today they formed up the lane dividers that are in between the lanes right before they enter the roundabout there. We did do a quick pause and recalculated the curvatures that look really tight. It's kind of like building a house. You have a big field and you have this very small foundation and you have this big building and it goes like that. But it all lays out like it should. Everybody should be able to get through there just fine. So that project's coming along nice. Other road work they'll be taking on, we got the Front Street chip seal project. They'll be kicking off on Monday. They're doing some pre-leveling and patching currently, but we're doing a 3-layer chip seal on Front Street. So that'll be closed down probably 2 or 3 days next week while they do that process. And had 2 water leaks, excuse me, that were detected. We repaired one at 5th and Washington in the alley. It was about 20-gallon mint leak. And we went up and found one in front of the high school, and they dug down to the bottom and found it was actually groundwater servicing. It wasn't a water main. So even though Chief Jenkins has assured us that we are in a water drought climate ahead, we do still have groundwater service in Cheney. So just like to share that for your experts there.
That could be a new well.
Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any council reports? We'll start over here with Councilor LeVar.
I do not have anything tonight.
I just wanted to reiterate that, yep, everybody turn your ballot in. If you lost your ballot, because it did get sent to you a couple weeks ago, you can request a new one from the elections office, or you can go on their website and you can get a new ballot packet that way as well. So there's very few excuses to not turn your ballot in. And then we have a bunch of stuff, not only on the ballot in August, but we'll have more stuff coming up in November. And as we make decisions and choices as a city, I would encourage people to maintain transparency with the community and with the public broadly, so that everybody is informed on what is going on and why we're making the choices that we're making.
For me.
Nothing from me. Councilor Postuma.
Nothing for me. Thank
Counselor-
you. Enjoy your summer.
Councilor Long.
I don't have anything official other than to reiterate to get your ballot in at this point, drop it off at the drop box at the library instead of mailing it. So yeah, and then I'm in Seattle this week for a collaborative training. I'll be back at the next council meeting in person. Thanks all.
Cool. Thank you. So at 6:47, our meeting is concluded.
Oh my God. Okay. So, okay.
Was that to me?
No. Because there was a bunch
Me
of.
and KHQ and KXLY are playing the worst game of phone tag.
Oh no, it was like 3 different news agencies.
all-
Couple